In a small, quiet town, people noticed the shoes first. They were worn, cracked, and always covered in dust. Every morning before sunrise, a young girl named Lena walked past the same road with a backpack almost as heavy as her body. No one knew exactly where she was going. They only knew she never stopped walking. Lena lived far from the nearest school, beyond where buses reached, and where roads slowly disappeared into long stretches of silence. The distance was so great that most adults said it was impossible for a child. But Lena never argued. She never complained. She simply walked 10 miles every single morning. At first, the road was quiet. Only her footsteps and her breath filled the air. As the sun rose, danger followed. Stray dogs appeared without warning. Trucks rushed past without slowing down. Sudden rainstorms soaked her clothes and turned the road slippery. Fear walked beside her every step of the way. Some mornings her legs shook before she reached halfway. Other days, her shoes filled with water and her feet burned with pain. Still, she kept going. Turning back felt worse than the struggle ahead. At school, Lena always arrived early. She sat in the front row, eyes locked on the board, writing every word as if it might vanish forever. Teachers noticed her focus. Classmates whispered. They wondered why she tried so hard, why she never missed a day, and how long she could possibly keep going. Then one afternoon, Lena did not arrive. Her seat remained empty. The teacher paused the lesson. Hours passed. Then, a full day. Rumors spread quickly. Some said she finally gave up. Others feared something terrible had happened on the long road she walked alone every day. The next morning, just as the school bell rang, Lena walked into the classroom. Her clothes were torn, her knees were bleeding, her face was pale, but she was smiling. The day before, she had slipped and fallen hard on the road. She lay there alone for a long time, with no phone and no one to help her. Fear whispered that this was the end. But Lena made a choice. She stood up, and she kept walking. That moment changed everything. One of her teachers followed her home later that week. What they saw was shocking. The distance, the isolation, the danger. Soon, others learned the truth. Community members stepped in. Rides were organized. Support arrived. Lena's story spread, not because she was weak, but because she refused to quit. Years passed. Lena didn't just finish school. She excelled. She earned scholarships and opportunities she once believed were impossible. She traveled farther than she ever imagined, not on foot this time, but through doors that finally opened for her. One day, she returned to her town, not as the girl who walked 10 miles, but as a leader. Lena helped build safe transportation for children in remote areas, making sure no child would ever have to risk their life just to learn. On the first day the buses arrived, she stood quietly nearby, watching smiling children climb aboard. She looked at her old shoes, now framed and hanging on a wall close by, and smiled, because the road that once tried to stop her became the road that made her unstoppable.